Well, good evening. Welcome to another group match here in Link to the Past Randomizer Casual Boots Tournament. We actually have here a pretty exciting tiebreaker match. Both of these guys, Soyhr and SeanRhapsody, have already qualified, in this case, for the bracket stage. They are actually playing for that actually pretty coveted first seed. And given the competition for the other runners in this tournament, I would very much like to have that first seed versus the second seed. Competition is very, very stiff, so it should be an excellent match. I am Claire Mouse, and joined with me actually is another Sean, going by Secretly a Sliver. On tracking is Niobium Narwhal. It's going to be a great match. Sean, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. Should be a pretty competitive match here. Their last few races were, at least.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And I think they actually finished relatively quickly. And right. So these guys' records, 5-1 each, and happen to only lose to each other. So not, this isn't actually this is an official tiebreaker, right, for who gets the first seed and the second seed. But it's actually, in this case, you can almost kind of think of it as like a best of three. In this case, really kind of fighting for that ultimate spot. We are so rich from Uncle already. It's like we literally get the inheritance, no paperwork, no bureaucracy, red tape. We just get the inheritance money right away. It's great.
Yeah, so first seed in groups is really good because you get in the mix for that first round bye, and just taking a week to just sit back and watch everybody else struggle through their brackets is great.
Yeah, that's right. Get the popcorn, and yes, some people, the competition. Yeah, yes, as you mentioned, some people definitely might be struggling in order to advance. But that is part of the challenge of a competition. Part of the fun part of this tournament, I would say, is kind of like being able to face some like the best, the best in the business, right, type of thing.
Yeah, I've definitely had a lot of fun. The people in my group are people that I probably would have never gotten to race otherwise, and that's the best part of tournaments to me.
Yeah, and it's actually really cool to see, especially for a mode such as casual boots, really actually pretty accessible, right? As you're kind of seeing in this case, Soyhr and well, the runner Sean is kind of going through, like in casual boots, we go through the standard escape sequence. Arguably, it actually could be a little bit easier, maybe, or more accessible versus like a standard start. Not to overload the term too much, because in this case, we actually get a starting sword, and of course, what better item to go with that starting sword than, of course, like the best movement item in the game, which is the boots, right? So you get to go fast, you get to kill things, you get it with something very familiar. Don't have to, think about magic management with Burna or anything like that, right? Although Soyhr, we got a little bit.
Guard is not great.
Yeah, we got a little bit too much of a party going on here. Otherwise, we're all good. It's okay. We have one heart. We have the heartbeats of encouragement, as we have often heard them within, escape.
Yep.
Just gotta survive at least until the front of the castle, because if you die, I think before then, you do have to do this sequence again from Zelda Cell, and you'd rather really probably not repeat this entire sequence again.
Right, and even with Zelda, if you were to die before completing this, it sends you all the way back to the cell, which is obviously not great.
Yeah, and especially, especially in a race competition, as such as like this, this is probably not one of those locations where you're willingly, wanting to give up, a couple minutes, right? One is kind of like the early, like it's within the first 5 minutes of the game, may not be necessary for the greatest morale boost, right? Because I haven't even gotten out of the 0th dungeon I'm supposed to be, finishing. What is that gonna, set the tone for the rest of the season type of thing for? But I have every confidence in Soyhr, and of course, in addition to Sean as well. And Soyhr actually, so I think I won't say he's like relatively new to the scene, because he's been around as well as Sean for a bit, but certainly not part of like the 2017, 2018 veterans as part of the community. But I think like Soyhr has really he has put in like the time, a lot of time and effort into basically improving his game. I think it's actually really shown. Also recently joined. I think you were also part of of this part of the vanilla preset tournament too, right, Sean?
I
Being able
was.
to, yeah. So we got a lot of practice here, in the escape sequence. So very much confident that we're gonna make this through.
Yeah, I actually met Soyhr and our tracker today, Niobium Narwhal, through last year's mentor tournament for Rando.
Oh
And
my gosh, that's awesome. Oh, shout outs to GMP. I really, really like that platform. Like they actually like listening to the podcast actually got me into Rando, or like really, kind of like got me, much more absorbed into it. And really actually just cool to see, to hear basically all these alums, right? You coming out of the mentor tournament, joining up a much more, say like open tournament, as well. Just really cool to see the progression of everybody.
yeah, and just to expand upon what you're saying about Soyhr putting in the work, I see it first person. Like I work with Soyhr a lot, and he just keeps getting leaps and bounds better, and I really hope he stays with it.
Yeah, I mean, especially right. And Sean, like, he, I think he's also been around. He was part of the Open League last year, along with I think his team was Pug Hunters with Solsky and our very own, admin Josh Bittner. Actually did, had a pretty decent record, coming out. But these guys are certainly no stranger to competition, right? Kind of been around, gotten their feet wet a bit, and here we are, and like. Very fitting, for these guys to be, basically the top two of their groups, 5-1 record, and gonna basically, being fighting for that top spot, right? Yeah. All right. So, out of escape sequence, always gonna be able to see. Yeah. So, actually, pretty reasonable times. We. Outside of the 300 rupees, and we got a shovel in the back of escape. Not very much else to kind of, write, well, to our deceased now uncle. I guess we don't have to write any more letters because, well, no one's going to read them anyway.
Yeah, we did find a glove. But
oh, you're right. Oh my gosh.
Really, like the logical implications of the glove are a little muted in standard starts because normally in an open mode you would see a glove and think back of escape right away, right? But the glove only really opens up a path to the mountain, which I don't think either runner wants to go there yet, and the Zora check, which nobody ever wants to go to.
Oh, that's definitely true. We are not necessarily like the poorest though. Like it would feel a lot worse if we potentially had to go to Zora and then we're still sitting at like 5-10 rupees or something like that. But you are absolutely correct in that we got a glove, a very important piece of Dark World access. I am obviously just very very blind, but Narwhal, our tracker, very much on top of it because it is very clearly marked. So.
We did also find a shovel that we're probably going to check right after the village here.
Yeah. The shovel is so certainly probably one of the most convenient checks. Because as we're kind of watching Soyhr and runner Sean, go through. This is a pretty, as you said, common sequence, right? You go to escape, you check. Lumberjack, Lost Woods, and then basically, go into the high density area of Kakariko, and then, once you're kind of already at Maze Race and Library, the dig spot is, just a couple screens away, right? So very, very convenient. Oh, okay.
So there's a moon pearl. I wonder if we're gonna see the rest of our Dark World access here in Kakariko.
For sure. And then suddenly we actually might well, we certainly have a lot more potential for divergence, but also as you mentioned, we can basically go straight to Dark World from Kakariko, and it's kind of scary right now on 4 hearts. Not gonna lie. But these guys, like go big or go home. Well, why not? We can always just dive in. Surely we'll be safe, right? Got a sword.
Yeah, I actually see a lot of people when they get that full Dark World access in Kakariko, just maybe put off the Dark World for a little bit and maybe go do something like Mini Moldarm Cave or take a trip over to Saha just to get like a little more health or maybe another sword or something like that.
Yeah, very, very, very fair. And as you also kind of alluded to, well, talk about some really nice firepower. We actually did get a light world map check. Looks like I think on Sean's side, we only had 1 pendant, if I'm not mistaken, in light world. So maybe the chances of Skullwoods being a crystal, pretty high. The fire rod's certainly very convenient.
Yeah, I think it was a green pendant at Eastern and just regular crystals on the other 2.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, sometimes these map checks are ridiculously fast because
Oh,
runners know
people
when
are
they're. Oh
so
my gosh, yeah, yeah. So we got flippers. So I mean, okay, and not like things could be like doubly, triply, or whatever in logic, but there are some if we're if we ever need to go to Zora, we are very well equipped to do so.
Well, there's also a couple technically flipper lock checks that, well, based on how good some of these runners are, the flippers are kind of a suggestion, but they are technically locked by the flippers with logic, so...
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Definitely would cause my eye to wander that way, seeing the flippers there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And, as you mentioned, there are a good number of different, some minor points of divergence, for Sphere 1 checks within Light World, right? You mentioned Saha. Some people, maybe depending on how you're feeling, might go into Eastern. But, South Shore for Mini Moldorm, Gina, like these are all viable options. The fact that we actually have flippers and all this cash, right, really, would really kind of like motivate you to kind of go over there. Sean, runner, Sean, saves a little bit of extra time. Oh man, we got a mirror too. Holy cow! All right, we're just racking up the goodies here before we go to Dark Worlds. Holy cow! Good thing we have a very capable tracker, because she's been very busy this entire time.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot of skills.
Yeah, but that mirror, actually quite timely. Hopefully Sean, the runner, is going to use that very minor glitch, mirror delete, just basically save himself an extra trip into the dam. Really cool to see. This time you don't have to go through some unnecessary screen transitions in order to be able to get both items in this case. Yeah, and okay, and then we actually ended up picking up 2 medallions. It looks like Ether could potentially, and so SeanRhapsody did not end up getting a lucky kind of big magic drop, but it looks like he does have enough magic to cast Ether if he so wishes. It looks like we're just gonna do it the old-fashioned way with the sword and a couple bombs, and as long as these guys cooperate, we're all good.
Yeah, so both runners just taking a similar route here. Soyhr a couple screens behind here as we pull, I think I saw a Master Sword there out of the right chest.
We sure saw a second sword. We almost already have Tempered, which is, arguably the best. Well, and Gold Sword, obviously, is still technically better than Tempered, but I would consider, especially probably for Soyhr and SeanRhapsody, like we probably don't need Gold Sword, and that's another extra item you have to go find, right? So, but we're very, very happy with the Temper Sword output damage.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would ever throw back a gold sword. But,
for sure.
But you're definitely not going out of your way to look for one.
Yeah, we also did see that Soyhr took the time to actually use bombos and alternate way to kill mini Moldorms. Cannot ever complain, about about burning things, because especially for mini Moldorms, those guys are not always the friendliest of creatures if you are trying to go fast.
Buzzblobs aren't exactly friendly either.
That's very true.
Run into a buzzblob a couple of times.
Yeah. That is actually a good reason to go find the gold sword. I feel like if you do end up, being able to, chance upon the gold sword in your travels, you should at least slash one buzzblob, because, when else you're going to be able to do so, And that is apparently the only sword that will let you actually kill them outright, so... All right, it looks like those Sean and SeanRhapsody, the runner, and Soyhr in addition. Basically, they are being, in this case, quite thorough. As you mentioned, we have some actually technically required flippers, lock checks, and so certainly it would be, a very astute of them in order to be able to make these types of checks, right? Especially if they're considered logic, they're early game. If something is here, you feel really bad if you have to come back in last location like Hobo.
We do have flippers and a mirror, so that's a situation where I'm thinking, maybe save the minute or so it takes to swim up there, and maybe put Hobo off until you're ready to go to pod.
Yeah, oh, very, very true. Yeah, that's certainly a consideration. And considering we just found myths on runner Sean's side, soon to be here on Sawyer's side, we already gonna have our Dark World access. Oh yeah, and yes, apparently also we have Burna, invincibility item. Again, you're never gonna turn one of those items down, especially on this type of health. You never really know when things are they suddenly bite you, and then you're almost dead.
Yeah, we did pick up blue mail somewhere.
Oh, from the dam.
So,
Right, that was also from the dam.
So that'll make the Dark World a little more palatable. But yeah, 6 hearts here on Sawyer's side. That's still a little. You get a little nervous when you're walking around the Dark World under.
Oh yeah.
Under like 9-10 hearts.
Yeah, yeah, and and also for what it's worth, while this may not be like the like the strongest or like the highest of stakes types of race things, it is still a competition. Things happen when you're racing, or when when it's not when suddenly at any point when something starts to matter, that's when things you don't even expect that can go wrong will go wrong. So it's really never ever a bad thing to have some safety in the back pocket. Glad to see both Soyhr and SeanRhapsody remembering that King's Tomb is a check that you have with myths. Sometimes it is one of those things where you suddenly get Dark World access. You're like, oh, okay, I have the entirety of the world open, and then one of these things just kind of like falls through the cracks, right? And then if you go back to King's Tomb of all places, maybe it's not the greatest feeling either.
Well, they are eventually going to go for Graveyard Ledge there, which would be the other time to pick that up. But then you're adding mirror transitions, and I think it's just generally faster to just go and get it right before you go to Dark World.
Yeah, I think that's actually very reasonable. Yeah, and every mirror transition is something like 5-ish seconds. Yeah, like it's not. I mean, and you have to go every time you go mirror once, you have to mirror again, right? Because you have to come back. So like,
yeah,
that time can really add up. Oh, all right. Well, speaking of, we have the early Fire Rod. Are we surprised necessarily if it's Pendant Skull Woods? Nice long match check on Sawyer's side there. We of course do see the capital P on Sean's side. I'm not actually sure if he got a map check in, but that will not deter either Sean or Soyhr. I believe looks like they are very much Dunka believers in the never skip Skull Woods mentality. Progression is here supposedly 27% of the time. Or some important item.
Well, I don't think pending crystal status would have affected their decisions at all for clearing Skullwoods here. I mean, it's fully in logic. Like Mothkill is in logic right now, so you just get your items out of here and get out.
Yeah, very very much true. And looks like we're actually taking some alternate alternative routing strategies here on between Soyhr and SeanRhapsody. Soyhr is actually going straight over to the back. Or no, we're just
he's stealing a key.
Yeah.
I think he wants to fall down.
Yeah, maybe this being a pendant, maybe not necessarily super motivated to go to Mothula immediately, but I think actually Sean just got his item out of the front, and then that's it.
Then see ya.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a risk, but I mean, you're not going to win a race without taking a couple risks. And we saw Soyhr get the bombs from the big key chest, so we know both items, and that's a good risk there by Sean.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, right. And so kind of like between Sean and Soyhr, we saw both. Yeah, as you said, both items here in Skullwoods. There is going to be that kind of like looming, maybe pendant situation, but it's kind of far off at this point. So better to just go to crystal. Oh, it looks like even it's a 5/6 crystal for Thieves Town, and we're just gonna pick up a hook shot. No big deal. That's all. That is that can definitely open up the mountain quite a bit, because now we can get over to East Death Mountain, which opens up, of course, also Dark Death Mountain for us as well. We are missing that elusive hammer though, but Soyhr actually is going to take some extra time in order to, as you mentioned, right? We're gonna go to Graveyard Ledge here. Not gonna orphan or kind of isolate any type of these locations for him.
Yeah, and I do actually like this play, because I don't see when you ever get to Graveyard Ledge with the item layout that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So if something does end up being here, or that ends up being the only accessible bottle, and then Sick Kid is holding like the hammer or something, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I 100% agree with you. Yeah, right, as you said, right. So like Graveyard Ledge is already kind of one of those locations that nobody really likes to go check. So we're even kind of like watching Soyhr, right? You know, it's a non-trivial amount of time to invest in one check, right? But as you also said, Skull was being a pendant. We already kind of know in this case that we've gotten both items. You know, especially on Sawyer's side, and he's already gotten King's Tomb, right? When else are you going to come here? If not right now, right? Otherwise, it is. Yeah, we may not see it for like another hour, basically. You know, when Soyhr has no other options left for him.
Yeah, when you isolate checks and then there just ends up being progression there, especially in a race with like buy implications like this, you really do not want to go to that isolated check that you could have gotten an hour ago and see your progression there.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so I unfortunately was not counting items on SeanRhapsody's side when he was going through Thieves Town. I did spot a mushroom in the vanilla Vicky chest, so we're gonna just kind of watch, or I'm gonna watch Sawyer's side to see in this case how many items are kind of still left in the back. You know,
there was a hook shot in the first chest.
Okay, yeah, and then when I listened, right, so Soyhr then also got the big key out of the second chest, and then I guess we'll see what ends up happening in this third chest here. You know, because right, so we have Dark World access via MITs, you know, which is well, it's restricted. Okay, we have item here, so it's restricted choice in that we only have one, you know, location that we can access Dark World in. You know, I mean, which means you don't have to think. But on the other hand, because we only have one Dark World access, we have no hammer, and sometimes going to do clearing out Thieves Town early means that we will run a risk in this case of leaving an item here behind that we cannot get to. But that will not deter either Sean or Soyhr from clearing out Thieves Town, considering we got 3 items in the front. So, you know, hopefully, in this case, if there's only 1 item left back here, then, you know, we don't have to worry about it.
I'm looking at chat here. Somebody asked about hammer on Pyramid Fairy. It cannot be there because you actually need the hammer to complete Ice Palace, which is our other 5-6.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Narwhal, for catching that as well and putting it on our tracker. But yeah, it's also a very good, excellent point. So in this case, so I guess the hammer, in theory, could have... no, I didn't see the small key, so no, I don't think it could have been in
Yeah,
down.
see, the small key is also inside the big chest, which actually means that blind is hammerbox. Also.
Yes, yeah. These little quirks about this one in particular, like because the small key is self-locking, is very interesting in my opinion. But yes, I think I believe you're correct in that we do need the hammer somewhere else. But at least in this case, I did see 3 bombs drop on blind. Very well done on Sean's side, also using that cane just so he doesn't die. I also saw the cane usage, by the way, on Sawyer's side, so he also didn't die in the hallway. Survival is very important. But yeah, so in this case, we have no other worries in order to at least, you know, we don't have to potentially come back here for Thieves Town for that last item.
Yeah, all of the non-starfish enemies in Thieves Town do full heart on blue mail here, and we did see the stun prize on Sean's side is hearts, which is very a very good thing, not just in this dungeon.
Very true. Yeah, especially can be actually quite clutch in, you know, basically any time when you're low on health, right? You know, Gauntlet of course is a very prime example. That place just, you know, tears you apart basically. So never really hurts me to have maybe something to be able to, you know, as a slight backup. We did also, by the way, pick up a heart container out of chess game. You know, I mean, it's fine in order to do Thieves Town first. I'm just saying, like, you know, like if you were kind of really just, you know, that little extra safety would not necessarily have been a bad thing for this dungeon.
Only a couple digs for Dick Game. Just get out of there right away.
Yeah,
and I'm wondering if we're gonna see. Nope, we're leaving Jeremiah. Oh, we're going back.
Oh
okay.
no! All right, wait, that's all good. Yeah. We remember that we can bring a companion along with us. Or we'll just do it now. Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, so maybe Sean just kind of was thinking, you know, he was just gonna do a South Dark World loop, but then yes, we do end up having mitts and the mirror as you mentioned. So we will be able to kind of do. Well, we can't do hammer pegs because we're out of the hammer, unless of course the smith is just gonna give us the hammer right here. Yeah.
I think he needs that hammer for smithing.
True. How about he can keep a mallet? We'll take that. You know, like we'll take the other. How about we take 20 rupees?
20 bucks. Okay. Well, spend 10, get 20.
Yeah,
That's a return on investment.
True. If only we can have those kind of margins. You know, like Zora, you know, being the smart business fish that he is. You know, we had to pay 500 for his 100, right? But these Smiths, right? They gave us like a 100% profit. So.
Well, that's how it keeps you coming back. It gives you the small gains, and then you get this big loss to give it all back. It's very
yeah. Okay. I can see
casino-like, I would say.
Yeah. It's a very convoluted plan, but you know, if it gets
Yeah.
you to stay, you know, and spend more money, ultimately, you know, as long as their expected value is positive, you know, from their perspective, then, you know, that's all that matters.
Right, Sean playing as the Black Knight from Monty Python. I don't know. I think that's from another game, but I don't remember what it's from.
Yeah, is this Plague? It's not Plague Knight, is it? I guess I don't remember.
Ooh, bow on Stumpy.
Yeah, we do have a bow on Stumpy. That is actually quite good to see. Yeah, so the bow is actually quite well. So, you know, okay, I'm looking down on our tracker again on Sean's side. So we see Eastern and Pod or pendants. Yeah, I'm not sure like how, you know, capable these guys were initially for like mimic clipping, but you know, like the bow did not have to show up so early. I'm just saying, right?
So I know Soyhr does not mimic clip. I don't know if Sean does or not. Okay. But Soyhr does have that bottle, so he had the camera unlock.
True.
Ability.
Oh yeah, that's also a great point. I believe the bottle had a B though, so we have to do. I believe we have to replace it with something like a potion or a fairy. But you know what? That's kind of moot, as you mentioned anyway. In this case, because we found the bow. We did get a heart container out of Sick Kid, so not, you know, progression, but you know, we got a little bit more safety. Bottle from NPC.
So that's a good point in chat, actually. Is this the time to do Swamp Palace? Because this tournament allows Specky Clip.
Oh, is Sean doing it? Is Sean doing this? You bring up a very excellent point, right? So Specky Clip, while, you know, like if we have the hammer, right, we actually we are going the correct direction. We are going the correct direction for Swamp Palace. Yes, this is we're not only are we gonna save 22 seconds, we're gonna we're gonna take a detour to Bombs. No, okay. Maybe he'll go back. It's okay. So. He'll go back. I promise. Soyhr though, actually, has he turned in the purple chest yet? I can't remember where he left it.
He left it up by Stumpy. I believe he did turn it in.
Okay. I don't, because there was nothing on purple chest, so I don't actually remember. Maybe I could have paid attention to.
Oh, and Sean taking this opportunity to go get that isolated Agena check. Wow. He might actually be going into desert here.
Yeah, this actually is a very interesting south route. I mean,
so we'll get our first divergence here, which is very good.
Yeah, going to be very, very interesting to see. So Hammer certainly cannot be in the back of Swamp, but there is absolutely nothing stopping the Hammer from being in the, well, technically the second chest of Swamp, which is the map chest. It's always going to be a small key here. But this is actually really exciting. We have no Hammer. We don't know where it is. And, you know, for all the people who have played, you know, Hammer, Go mode types of situations, sounds real cool until you have to go through that Kakariko, you know, Village of Outcast portal, you know, 10 times. Okay, well, half magic, not certainly the worst find as the first chest.
Okay. That's a good pair with Berna.
Especially that's true.
If we don't find another sword for a while, something like Misery Mire is gonna get a lot easier and a lot less dangerous.
Yeah, I'm also looking at Ice Palace as well, right? Like, if you have Magic Fire Rod, suddenly Cold Stare does not look as intimidating. Okay, this is very nice Specky clip there on Soyr's side. But yeah, so we not only have saved 22 seconds, because we didn't have to, you know, go to Trench 1, get the key, you drain the water, etc., right? But as we're seeing, you know, we are here in Swamp Palace without the hammer. So very, very curious here to see what we could potentially find. You know, the fact that Soyhr is here early, I guess, like, I would imagine maybe he would just full clear this place. I guess, I don't know.
You're not really... So I saw that people have done some timings here, and I think the community consensus is go boss first and then figure out how many items are on left side to see if you actually want to do it or not. And that seems like what Sawyer's going to do here.
Yeah, okay, that makes actually a lot of sense as well, because you know, one of...
Yeah, like you said, it does save... Specky Clip does save 22 seconds, but it only burns 11 of those 22 seconds to come back for left side swamp, so it's not really that punishing to have to come back.
Yeah, that's actually very good, but yeah, very good point. And also, so we did see kind of Soyhr pick up the map here in the back, but you know, again, like we saw, I think half magic and 20 rupees is the first two chests, right? And then if you just go directly left side, like how bad are you gonna feel, right? When you find map and compass on that side, right? We could have just gone straight to the back, right? And very much makes a lot of sense. And the fact that Soyhr, you know, he has Master Sword for Argus, I mean, we clearly would still prefer something better than Master Sword, but you know, Master Sword is still way better than Fighter Sword, so not gonna be the worst fight that he's gonna face. Okay, but Sean though, on the other hand, he is making his way over to Landmo. I did not see anything of note though in terms of items being in desert. I think I saw a red rupee. Maybe there's the last item.
Nothing earth-shattering here. He does have to be a little careful. Can take like 4 more hits, but okay, looks like we're out of danger here.
Yeah. Oh no. It's okay. This guy Argus never wants to cooperate when you want him to. All right, but very nice recovery there on Sawyer's side. So Argus and another crystal is down for Sawyhr. Meanwhile, on Sean's though, still making very much progress. Oh my gosh, dude!
Very nice little spin.
Yeah, what a save on Sean's side to get the last Landmo's kill. Very, very well done on his side, and he also picks up his second crystal as well. I mean, these guys are making really great progress. Ooh, Soyhr going back into swamp. so we did not.
I saw a map, so there's at least one item there. There may be 2. I didn't see the compass, but.
I think the compass was in the waterfall room, so there will be 2 items back here. I did not see the big key, so it's somewhere back here. Okay, and as for see in this case, okay, so Sean, the runner, has not done Specky Clip for us yet, so Sawyer's gonna just do all the Specky Clipping for the both of them.
Yeah, for those that missed it the first time, there it is this time. I really, really like that clip. I think it's really fun, and it's not really all that difficult to do. I learned it by watching a GIF that Ari posted. I sat down, turned on my console, and did it first try. It is not that difficult.
That's amazing. Yeah, and in fact, actually, so I think when Specky kind of like first found it like the setup itself was the original setup, right? Like maybe it was a bit more cumbersome, but it was he definitely showed it was possible. And then basically within like one night, or maybe it was 2, right? The community like came together, and then like as you mentioned, like they distilled it down to a single GIF and then like. Everybody now knows it takes 2 minutes to learn, basically, right? Or less, for that matter. Especially if those familiar with like how to do Harapod, just seems so kind of like natural at that point.
Another question in chat: can you use Specky Clip in an MG? Well, no. All interior rail clips are banned in NMG except for Hammer Jump, which is grandfathered in. But it's also a moot point because the Specky Clip requires you to have hook shot, which is inside Swamp Palace.
Yep, what Sean said. Sean the commentator, not Sean the runner. Sean the runner is very much muted right now. Yeah. All right. So okay. Yes. As we have observed, Soyhr he has done left side swamp for 50 rupees and a heart piece. But it looks like initially the big key was actually self-blocking as well. So don't have to necessarily worry about. But he has full cleared swamp. For well, I guess he got a boomerang out of it, but yes, probably not the progression in this case that we were hoping for. Meanwhile, though, Sean, you know, I didn't even consider what he's doing right now was even an early option, but here we are. He did Graveyard Ledge on the way to Catfish. Good way to basically route in that the isolated check.
Right, yeah, and you can kind of see how these skills work. It's that, you know, I left this up here for a reason because I had the plan to come over to Catfish, which is a very unpopular check, and if you and I always am ecstatic when I find something on Catfish because I know a lot of people try to skip it, especially in a mode like Casual Boots.
Yes, yeah. I mean, yeah, Catfish, probably maybe Pyramid. Like there are just locations out there where you know, me if you kind of like look for all the locations that, you know, people end up like going to or not going. Catfish is, I'm sure it's like on everybody's top, you know, top 3, top 5, maybe top 1 for that matter. You know, so yes, if you do find something there, it is a very, very good result for you.
Oh, and we can also check this mushroom here, and then I think Sean might just wrap down to the pyramid and try to find the hammer and pot.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Yeah, because he definitely went through like the North Dark World version, you know, and of course this is you know, with the flippers, quite convenient, much better than the let's go do South Shore or Dark South World again to try and get to pod. Yeah, in this case, right, kind of we're taking this route. We also will not have to isolate Pyramid at all, and then what are we gonna find in Palace of Darkness? It is a pendant. You know, we also do have the opportunity to go into Eastern alongside if we so choose. It's gonna be real funny, by the way, when like Hammer is in the map chest of Eastern, and then both people are going to be very sad because that is Hammer in Eastern Palace when it's a pendant, no less, in Casual Boots when you didn't have like any other reason, you know, to go in there is. I mean, chances are your opponents didn't go in there either, but still.
I think the thing that would hit the panic button for me is if the hammer is just sitting in Saha's closet, because my opponent has had that for like 20 minutes in my mind.
Dude, you're right. Like, did we even get a Saha check from these guys?
We did not.
Oh my gosh,
got the
dude,
Dark World access there on South Shore and never came over here.
Oh my gosh, dude, you're absolutely right. Well, you know, it's not like they've you know, it's not like they haven't made progress, right? But yes, having the hammer would certainly have, you know, sped up the overworld travel up quite a bit. Oh, okay, all right, okay, Tempered, you know.
Best item in the game.
Yeah, game is omega playable at this point. You know, silvers would be great. If we never find them, we never find them. I think both of these guys are very capable, you know, of silverless Ganon. But yeah, the important part is we have that very, very powerful and comfortable tempered sword now with us.
Yeah, silverless Ganon is one of those things that, you know, you hope to not have to do it, but you know, in a good portion of seeds, you're going to end up doing it, and it is a very important skill to have.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Because, you know, so like, even though this road does have progressive bows, right? One of them is still considered to be placed in logic, and if only one of them, of course, you know, is required for this particular seed in order to just beat GT, right? You have absolutely no idea, like where the other bow could be placed. It doesn't even have to be somewhere that's convenient. And so to be able to, you know, have to search for that second bow elsewhere, I mean, it's almost like an ice rock hunt at that point, right? You do not want to put yourself in that position if you want to try and be more competitive in the game.
Yeah, that is why I like one of the reasons that I really like progressive bows rather than non-progressive, because the bow in a layout like this, you know, the bow isn't locking anything. You just need it for the GT climb. It can be literally anywhere, and you're just gonna run around like a headless cuckoo trying to find this thing.
Oh yeah. And if you really want that kind of feeling, you know, just you know what, chances are you're gonna encounter an ice rock hunt later. So sooner rather than later, probably. So you know, there's no reason to, you know, have to replace that with silvers.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Sawyer's to do here.
Yeah, so at this point, things have kind of evened out, I think, between, you know, like Soyhr.
This looks like an out of logic mount.
Oh, dude, you're also correct. We have not found a flute or lamp yet, even though the entirety of the mountain is kind of quote unquote available to us, right? You know, as you mentioned, you know, Soyr's going to go through rescuing the old man in the dark. The game is nowhere intended for you to be up here because they don't expect you to do dark rooms like this. But once Soyhr gets past this part, we have how many checks there in the mountain? Umpteen? Like many. I can't even. I don't think I have enough fingers and toes.
Silver's on right side pod, so that was
Very
a
very
locked bow
funny.
there.
Yeah, funny. Good sense of humor game. Impendant pod, no less.
Yeah, so it's entirely possible that Soyhr just doesn't ever get those.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. Yeah, in this case, you know, Sean more or less looks like he is sticking to logic, right? Soyhr, on the other hand, looks like you know, he is willing to break logic for some potential efficiency gain here. You know, as the mountain is quite dense. Pod itself, by the way, is also pretty dense, right? It's got, you know, up to 5 items here, but only a few of them are going to be in logic. As resulted by the fact that we have not found the lamp yet. But then again, you know, the lamp could just be sitting at Eastern, right? And you know, on a location that we do have logical access to, but just haven't visited. Oh.
Okay, well, there's our
that's
mountain access.
that's a very important. Oh my god!
And a hammer. So this is a required double dip of pod.
Yeah. Well, assuming we have to beat pod, we may not have to. It is a pendant. But yes, if we were having to logically come back and beat something for Homosaur, yes, I absolutely agree with you. Oh, but wow, just fighting progression for both Soyhr and Sean's quite good. Yeah, so it looks like those Soyhr does have to go to pod at some point because Myers a crystal, and we definitely need that flute. Wow.
And that might actually be what pushes Sean up to the mountain to find that to find that hammer there. Alright. Not interested in finishing this out, so...
Yeah, very understandable. Ooh, interesting
But
call by
into
Sean
Eastern,
here. Yeah, very interesting. Alright, so this is also another pendant. We are going to see in this case if maybe, and so this also could be SeanRhapsody like trying to maybe hedge his bets, right? If something here isn't Eastern, as you said, it may not be like let's push the panic button, if you know, but he doesn't want to leave anything behind. We found Canis Mori, by the way, up in there. Oh wow.
Yeah, so this Eastern play is interesting because there's only one chest that's out of logic. The boss is actually in logic with that fire rod, and that means Green Pendant Turn-In is in logic.
Yeah, this is actually very interesting, right? Because we found the big key, right? Cannonball chest, the very first one. And yeah, so we may not have to go to vanilla big key chest, which is lamp locked. That's hard lamp locked. Oh, never mind. We found it here. Still lamp locked. Hard lamp locked. Oh, but this is really. I mean, this is actually like this is really spicy. I think on both Sean and Sawyer's side. And it's part of the fun, I think, of Rando is, you know, you just like depending on kind of like the items that you do and the decisions that you make, suddenly you can just take very different paths through the seed. Were you happen to be watching how many items were left in Hera? I just saw the cane, and I did not see anything else.
We got all the items in Hera.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you so much.
Full disclosure, I also was not paying attention, but Sawyer's playstyle is if there's an item in Hera basement, then he will go back for it.
Oh, thank you for
the fact that he is not. Yeah. The fact that he's not going back tells me we found both of them.
Sounds good. Thank you. See, this is great. This is actually the exact kind of commentary actually that's very appropriate to be able to know Soyhr that well. And actually, it looks like actually it was in one of those seas that Herapod actually pays off, right? Or at least, you know, you can basically get up to the tower very quickly, and then we don't have to touch the basement at all. Didn't actually quite see where the big key was still, but it still saves time. Okay, so technically, well, I guess Man, okay, so the flute was in Harmless Hellway and Pod. I didn't actually see where the rest of the keys were, because that needs a lot of keys. So I'm not sure if we still need that lamp somewhere to put things in logic. But certainly the flute gives us logical mountain access.
So Harmless Hellway is only locked by 5 keys. Because the flute directly led to Hammer, that means that you can't go down to Pod Basement and waste your 6th key. So normally it would be locked by 6, but in this seat it's locked by 5. So that means as long as both right side chests are not small keys, that means that the flute is maybe available without the lamp?
Yeah, maybe I should have maybe watched where all the small keys were as well. But okay, all right. Well, we're gonna assume for now that the flute is going to be is logical, at least until that lamp shows up. In which case,
anyway, the Dark Maze and the boss are the only ones that that require lamp.
Right. Yes. Correct. That is definitely true.
And keys cannot be in the Dark Maze, so I believe that flute is in logic without.
All right. Then that sounds great. All right. Okay. So then that means that means everything that Soyhr is doing right now is technically in logic. He just doesn't know that it's in logic.
Right.
That's all fine. Yeah. Okay. So did we actually find anything here up in the mountain besides that hammer and cane? Okay, that was a lot of stuff that we found here on the mountain.
Yeah, hammer and cane just by itself is pretty. Is this a Meyer play here on Sean's side?
This might be some info. Like Meyer Shed's pretty quick check. We can do checkerboard. Yeah. All right, we can get into Meyer. That's for sure. And you know we don't actually need the hammer in order to finish Meyer. Oh, was that the ice rod? Well, that's a very conveniently placed ice rod.
Okay, so we can get into Meyer, and let's see if we can get into TR.
Yeah, because
yes, we can.
Holy cow!
And I believe this is going to be a.
Is that
this is going to be a TR clear here.
Yeah, for sure. Nice. Everything's fine. Soyhr is just showing us all the different items he has in his inventory. It's all good.
he's doing the Mog dance to
exactly
tell us that he's happy about doing Turtle Rock with only a Master Sword.
It's like a summoning ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think as also I think Chad is also kind of as hinting at suddenly because we actually have gathered the rest of our late game dungeons because we can get into everything. I believe in this case Soyhr all he needs is that flute and a sword. Yeah, but I mean once he kind of goes over to Pod, I'm gonna assume that he is gonna pick up his temper sword.
Yeah, I don't see a scenario where you just leave Saha. It's 3 items, you can get them very quickly. But more importantly, once Sean clears Hera and I believe that puts him in go. Oh, Hookshot Cave. That's where the ice rod
right
was.
Yeah. But I think at that point, once you have ice rod or once he finds in Hookshot Cave, if he wants to clear Turtle Rock in one go, I think that's great. I don't think he necessarily has to because he has to go back down and finish his how many dungeons? 4 dungeons or something. Right, and so like if he does Turtle Rock now, he does Turtle Rock later, probably won't matter. But wow, this suddenly, and I guess maybe the ending or the mid game suddenly was it became late game very quickly. But suddenly now we're looking at I don't know, like basically like more than half of the dungeons we're just gonna like go mode, at least on Sean's side.
So yeah, Soyhr has a 2 dungeon lead, but Sean gets to go mode Swamp, and he's gonna pretty much get to go mode Turtle Rock as well, or Sawyer's gonna have to probably exit the dungeon to go to Mimic Cave, because he's still looking for stuff, and Sean will not be.
Yeah, so so Soyhr found the lamp at Chomps in Turtle Rock. Great location, by the way, for that lamp.
Yeah, I saw someone in chat say that that the lamp was in Eastern, and I wasn't 100% sure that that was the case. But yeah, now we just confirmed. Yes, the lamp is there is only one lamp, and it is in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, lamps at least for the time being are not progressive. I'm not really sure actually what it could be, how a lamp could be progressive, but we'll see.
So this is a decision. Soyhr skipping lava chest when he's not in go mode.
Whoa. Man. Every single time somebody comes into the dungeon, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch for keys because I'm gonna see the layout, and then I never do. So, like, I mean, is this safe?
I don't
I
think so.
Okay.
I mean, it could have an item, like if he hasn't found the big key, then that's his big key. So I wonder if that was just maybe an autopilot error, NMG brain maybe. This, I guess NMG brain would be unlocking the door.
Okay, yeah, I'm like kind of reading some
I
stuff
wonder
in
if
chat.
I wonder if that was just autopilot though.
Well, so my guess is okay. So he has the big key for sure, but it looks like some points are being brought up by Shimaru and Josh. So if Soyhr found the lamp, which means that he knows his food is logical, his logical access up here, and if that's the only thing he needs, then maybe he is actually gonna kind of go mode-ish this dungeon. He just needs to make sure that he doesn't have, like, he has enough keys.
Oh, okay, but he is also kind of looking for a sword and silvers.
True, that is true. Yeah, I mean, these are all great things that we can just ask him, like, as well. You know, what kind of optimization calculus he has in him. Maybe just he wants some more thinking time. It's more dance time on the conveyor belt as well. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, you paid for your ticket on the platform.
Exactly. Yeah.
Take the scenic route.
Right. It's more value for our time here in Turtle Rock. Even more so than we can see. All right, so Sean's kind of finished up the rest of. So he just finished up Hera. He got his hammer. He got off of Ether Tablet. He got his Kina Samara inside the dungeon itself. We are in Ice Rod away from SeanRhapsody being in go mode. Once he picks up this Ice Rod, basically here in Ice Rod Cave. And yeah, as you mentioned, so while Sean is at a crystal deficit to Soyhr, his crystal clears are going to be much faster than Soyhr. And especially, and like, while I still very much, I believe, if you could specky clip, you should, type of thing. But like, in this particular case, right, because there was kind of nothing behind Swamp, Sean is going to save a little bit more time, over Soyhr, considering he also did left side as well, right, versus, like, Gomo Swamp Palace. Oh, and Sean's also gonna have Temper Sword when he does Argus as well. So, yep, and that is go mode for Sean. He's even got red mail from Eastern. Like we don't need anything else on his side. Okay, all right. So looks like though Sean has decided to make the decision to do Turtle Rock now, which is again, which is all good. It doesn't necessarily matter when you decide to do it because we have to come back up the mountain anyway. Yeah, but kind of we're also seeing some of the differences that Soyr's gonna make. So while Soyhr looks like he's clearing Kranex quite well here with Master Sword / Hammer, half magic, etc. I mean, Sean is gonna have Temper Sword in this case in order to deal with. Probably one of the biggest differences is gonna be here, I'd say in phase 2, you kind of see Soyhr having to break out the hammer. I think Sean can for example just like spin.
All right, Kranex down. That was a very nice fight.
Oh yeah. And again, like for doing ice powder.
Oh no. More things to keep away from Pot.
Oh, true. That's true. But like, okay, so he's got the hammer. Pot is so dense. Pot and Eastern. Surely we don't have to go to Magic Bat for like one check, right? Surely. But yeah, I was gonna say like there's some things that even when you are not on, I would say, comfortable or even easy quote unquote equipment, right? Suddenly, if you're not maybe comfortable or practiced in some of the fights, even sometimes I think like the Master Sword Trinex fight, maybe some people might even take that for granted, but it is something that you still have to make sure you're capable of, because that fight is not easy, and Soyhr and well, Sean won't have to use Master Sword for this, but okay, we were thinking about getting our fortune told, maybe. It was just the other shop, no problem.
Yeah, he might not have remembered where the shop was. It's there in the Dark World.
True, that is true. I believe actually maybe it's only inverted. Do they just sell a red potion maybe in regular? I think inverted.
I think they sell red potion, but they did change it in the randomizer to be blue potions and inverted.
Okay. Yeah, okay, right. Because I remember there was some stuff about like we can actually be magic starved, I think. Especially when you do like Berta on for blind or something like that, and it was a very nice quality of life upgrade.
I think it's more for magic for Ice Palace. Since
okay. Oh yeah, that's
in
also
logic
true.
with flippers and a fire source.
Right. All right. Well, speaking of Ice Palace, we're here. Soyhr, I think very. Yeah, this also might be just like kind of being, somewhat honest with himself. No reason to prematurely exit the dungeon if we don't have to. He is on Blue Mail, but again, he is on Master Sword. So if you have the safety, you may as well use it. Nice, really nice bomb setup there on for the pin gators in the compass chest or compass room. All right, so it looks like Soyhr. Yep. So as the again, very familiar setting here in at least Randomizer to be able to come here. Very blessed the fact that we have Canis Maria, so we can basically take the back doorway of, or the backwards way of doing Ice Palace. Very nice icebreaker on Sawyer's side as well, man. Yeah, again, like you can actually just tell like how much time he's kind of put into practicing all of his techniques. I think, or attack so far. Specky clip, super smooth icebreaker, very fast. Just seemed like he's very comfortable basically doing these a lot of like these randomizer strats.
Pulling the statue for fun, I guess.
It's okay, it's how often do you get to do this? When you have to do icebreaker.
Yeah.
All right, it looks like Soyhr is going to take a little bit of extra time. And as I think you rightfully point out, we got chess on the way. He is he's still looking for like flute, but he is also wouldn't hurt to have like a master or a tempered sword or something like that as well. Okay, so maybe do we have 2 items already? Do we have to go to ICT?
I believe we have 2 items. Yeah, this is a weird decision when you're 1 from go and you're thinking about iced tea. Oh, we're getting aggressive.
All right, sounds great. Go Soyhr, go. Certainly from our vantage point, we know that the flute is not here. Maybe Gold Sword is in iced tea. We don't know that for sure, but we do know that Tempered is in with Sahasrara in the back of his hut, so we don't care at this point. Alright, so that is Trinex down, by the way, for Sean using Tempered Sword. We are ready now to go mode. Let's see, I'm looking at the tracker. Swamp Palace, Ice Palace, and Myers. That's 3 dungeons that we can just zip right on through.
Yeah, and those Swamp and Mire are 2 of the longer dungeons, so I mean, Sawyer's going to get to go mode Mire anyway because that's his go mode to be able to access that.
But, yeah.
Once he have full clear of Swamp versus go moding it is going to be the big difference here.
Oh yeah. The hefty time investment that Soyhr took early game. I mean, it certainly very well could have been right, and that Swamp could have had something in the back, but sadly, in this case, it was not the right decision for the seed. All right, where is Soyhr going here? We have Pyramid Fairy? Is that what it
This
is?
Pyramid Fairy.
Okay.
If this is Pyramid Fairy, it might send them in the pod afterwards.
Yeah,
I believe he has
that.
all of his available crystals at the moment.
Yeah, and actually, I think this routing is actually quite nice. You know, and very often, especially if you come here with without the flute, if you're already here in the Dark World, going to Pyramid, a little bit of extra before going to Pod is very reasonable, right? And because otherwise, you're just gonna isolate that Pyramid check. We're also not gonna get Pyramid Fairy.
Hey, we're not getting the big bomb. This is Pyramid Catfish, maybe.
Maybe just Pyramid.
I don't think it would be just Pyramid, but I've definitely seen him do the quick Pyramid into Catfish and save him quick before. Nope, we're going to Pod. All right.
Very interesting. I mean, like, can the flute not be in Pyramid Fairy?
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I am also
think
trying to think of this.
I think it. Oh no, it can't.
No, it can't because Hammer. Yeah, Hammer was up on the mountain. I gotcha. That makes sense. Yes. Yes. It just took the collective us, you know, a second to think about logic. Thinking, you know, especially so late at night, is not at least my strong suit. So I'm glad everybody else here is around. All right, there is Soyr's Temper Sword. We are very happy to see that. And then yeah, so this being, you know, he's coming into Pod. He is actually going to save some time because he's gonna, you know, over Sean here, right? Because Sean decided to go into Eastern, and I'm pretty sure at this point Soyhr can probably do without that red mail.
Right, yeah, I don't think there's any way that Soyhr does Eastern here. Pod is just more dense, and at the point where you're diving pendant dungeons for progress, you definitely want to play density over quickness.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, but meanwhile, okay, so I did not pay also attention to where the big key was. It did not look like it was in its vanilla location. So but at least so that's good for both, you know, Soyhr and Sean, in that we're just saving a little bit more time. Ooh, I believe, yeah, this is actually a really cool setup. Like, I think it probably is maybe more effective in the dark, but yeah, like, I think that seeing that bong from Sean and then being able to hook over, and you can just place the block, like, very well.
Yeah, the bonk is only, like, 60 to 70 frames slower than the normal setup, and if, like, that's also the good strat in the dark. So, to only have to learn one thing for one room, that's a fairly decent thing to do.
Oh no, Soyhr! He did. He ran out of bombs. Good thing Pod is the palace of bombs. We always have backup bombs here in Pod. Although I'm not sure if this first bomb was like defective or not, because I thought it exploded in the right place and all, but you know the floor
it was about a tile too low.
Too high? Oh, too low. Okay, gotcha. Oh jeez. Okay. Every single time somebody quick swaps over to the mirror before the bow, I get extremely nervous. Not the first time that it has happened to a runner. We're very glad to see Silvers on Vitreous.
Yeah, I definitely did a one of those tactical mirrors in a these race a couple days ago.
Oh,
so
I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, but you know, you're still advancing to brackets. That's all that matters, right? A little, you know, maybe didn't feel great at the moment.
Well, that happened in cross keys. I'm in.
Oh, okay. Oh, true. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Okay, alright, so that is a crystal, well, 1 of 3 left for Sean, so we have 2 more. He's going to be able to go mode. Looks like he's just going to, you know, take his pick for whatever crystals he would like to clear out first. All good, you know, we've got Swamp Palace, we've got Ice Palace, kind of 2... Maybe he'll, you know, run from Swamp to Ice or something. I'm not really sure if he wants, but I mean, they're all, you know, like, when the dust all settles, they're pretty much just, you know, do them in whatever order you want to. All right. Meanwhile, though, Soyhr is on his way to the back. We are closing in on his go mode flute.
Helmosaur seemed to like Soyhr, and he was not having any of that.
Yeah. I mean, tell Soyhr to just stop being so popular, you know, or so likable. You know, the manga is really cute. You know.
It is, and he really is a really awesome and likable and
for sure.
really a really chill guy.
Mm-hmm. In fact, actually, so one of the earlier, I remember like instances where I think I saw him in Pilot Spoiler when he was racing. I think he was being piloted by Professor Pixie at the time, and that is go mode for Soyhr at 104. So he just has to finish up Meyer. But yeah, like I remember just like listening to him and like watching him, you know, play. As you said, you know, very nice guy, super chill, like very relaxed, right? And he's all about positivity, like. I'm here to have fun. Like he was really also just like being very encouraging, right, the entire time. You know, because especially if you've done Pilot Spoiler, it's very chaotic. Mistakes will happen, and he was, you know, absolute positive attitude like the entirety, like the entire time. So just like you know, it's really great to see. You know, especially for Soyhr to especially putting all this time and effort into this game, really kind of like see his progress through this. All right, we are watching Sean though run through swamp as fast as he possibly can. Again, Temper Sword does make quite the nice, at least for the Argus fight, but we are not missing anything, and we can just basically go straight to the back. So right now, because even though Soyhr's already finished up swamp, he is basically. It's going to be kind of a difference between a go mode Ice Palace and a go mode / maybe middle-ish, clear of Meyer.
A kind of full clear of Meyer because I believe the big key's in the map chest.
Okay. So that's like almost cutscene, but it's like as you said, not quite, right? We don't have to go through like the very last thing, but it's kind of towards the tail end of people's usual routes.
So Soyhr does usually leave cutscene for last, which is the normal thing that rando players do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very very understandable. All right.
But the map chest is almost always second to last, so he's going to run through almost this entire dungeon.
Yeah, that's all good. It just giving Sean a little bit more time to catch up. Oh wow, this Soyhr is demonstrating that is really good to have beams for Meyer too.
Yeah, it's so good, in fact, that my NMG route actually is built around having beams for Meyer 2.
Very, very, very practical. I approve. It's like, the difference is like really like noticeable. I mean, like you would think that he uses just sword beams, right? And no, it can add multiple cycles if you're not careful without beams. So.
Welcome in, Raiders. This is the Casual Boots tournament. Both players are in go mode. Soyhr has Meyer to do, and SeanRhapsody has Ice Palace left to do, and it's looking really, really close. I think they're going to be within a minute of each other in the GT.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and this is actually, very, very exciting race so far. And yeah, as Sean, the commentator, has mentioned, Soyhr is still looking for the big key to Meyer. He's coming up on it, but we're not quite there yet. But meanwhile, though, Sean just has to basically finish up Ice Palace. Go mode Ice Palace is still pretty quick. But yes, basically, once we're done with these dungeons, we're gonna go up with GT, and we still have to go find the big key as well. So it's the variance, or the difference in time is not safe for either runner for sure.
Yeah, and I mean it's a rando race. Literally anything can happen at any time. I've seen some wild stuff happen during races.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so there's the big key there in the lobby chest. I was one chest off.
Okay, that's all good. You were like one screen basically away. I mean, it's about the same amount of time. So, I think he was looking for a small key, right?
Yeah, because he didn't hit the switch. So I don't think so. Oh, right. You need a small key to get through that room. Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe he was trying to hope that he didn't have to, hammer the block or something. Maybe. I guess I don't know, but yeah.
Fluffing for butter also isn't terrible.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's also true. Yeah.
I believe you just see right there. You're not gonna.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. All right, yeah. So
Okay,
I think actually,
I think he did save the spooky there.
Yeah, I definitely heard the switch. And I think this is actually something that we also did not see Sean do. I'm not sure if his setup, either he preserved spooky or not. I didn't quite see, but he did end up opening like the wall and then hitting the switch. So Soyhr is going to save a little bit of extra time here. Very minor, but it's still going to be some extra time. But holy cow, we are simultaneous boss kills right now. This is significantly closer than I thought it was. Not gonna lie. Holy cow.
Man,
Alright, that is...
I said within a minute to GT, they might be within like 20 seconds.
Yeah, because we are, what, one crystal catch difference at this point? Holy cow. Yeah, so Sean's gonna be heading up to Dark World first. Soyhr, is he gonna mirror and then save and quit? Or sorry, flute?
Yeah, mirror and flute is actually faster than the save and quit, but
Okay, so 109.51 is when Sean exits, old man. So this is 5 seconds as Soyhr hits. Oh my gosh! All right. Yes, amazing. All right, so I also do see some numbers in chat. So yeah, feel free to take a guess as to where you think that GT big key is, and I have no idea who's gonna get there first. Do you actually know if Soyhr has a preferred GT route, or you know if it's like based on?
He does hope left if he doesn't feel behind. He does, I believe, rando rush if he does feel behind.
Okay, we are also seeing a little bit of a difference here. Sean the runner is going through Super Bunny, and Soyhr here is getting dead rocked first. Oh my gosh. Okay, the dead rock does not want to go away. So I was gonna say, I believe that going up taking Sawyer's way is faster. Just like raw time, but if you get dead rocked, it is not faster, and that's like kind of the benefit that the Sean has decided to take, which.
Yeah, going through the TR portal is about 1.5 seconds faster than going through the Dark World, but again, if you get dead rocked, that's 8 seconds that dead rock.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Soyhr couldn't even get rid of the dead rock by kind of like moving it off screen, or getting himself off screen. So yes, it was the very full 8 seconds. All right, both runners showing us that we do have temper sword. Okay, so GT entry is 26 on Sean's side. We got. Okay, so I think it looks like Sean maybe extended his lead just by a little bit based on all the Dead Rock and Death Mountain shenanigans. We have Gold Sword on Hope. We have a small keys. Okay, so it looks like maybe we won't have very much variation here. At least in terms of GT routing. There is still execution difference for sure, even despite being on, Gold Sword and Silvers, but there is still going to be difference.
Like they're taking the same route, so this is going to come down to Gauntlet.
Oh yeah, I mean, and well, I mean, so especially in casual boots, bonks are gonna happen. Especially when you're in the racing. Who knows how you're feeling in game? Sometimes you might get race nerves, jitters, whatever. Like every missed movement is potentially gonna add up here. Having the race beat this close. Okay, it is not in Compass Room. Looks like we also don't even have a key either. Maybe they're in Stalfo's room. So looks like Sean's at least going to pick up this key. I assume Sawyer's also going to do the same here.
Yeah, there actually cannot be a small key in the Compass Room unless the big key is there. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're right. I think you're right. Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. But like if the big key is there, there's still no guarantee that the small key is there, right? It's kind of like the other way around.
It just makes it so that there can be a small key there.
Right. Okay, gotcha. That's right. All right, so okay, we're here in Stalfo's room. We have Boomerang. I have also not been counting. We'll posthumously go and once we get the big key, we'll count. It's not here yet.
So it'd be 6 for Compass Room, 1 for Torch, that's 7. And so we're at check number 11 on Sean's side here.
Sounds good. Thank you. If only they had compasses that like counted things for us in like non-key sanity modes.
Right.
Yeah. Alright, it is not here in the map chest, so that was check number 12. We are, I mean, you know, this is like, basically like 2 screens apart, you know, at this point, right? Soyhr is still a little bit behind in terms of the screens, but, I mean, again, this is very, very close, right? No, basically, we have still a whole gauntlet ahead of us.
Yeah, however this turns out, it's an amazing showing by both runners.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You can see why they're both in the one.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, that's actually a great reminder. These guys, you know, within their group, they are playing for basically first and second seeds. So the winner of this is effectively like a first, second place tiebreaker. Very, very well deserved between these 2 guys. All right, is it here in Brando room? Small key? No. We are continuing our journey.
I think, based on the amount of keys that we have not found, that the big key is going to have to be in the basement.
You mean behind Isarmos? Is that?
Yeah, Isarmos.
Okay. You know, as in it, you don't think it could be tile room?
I don't think it could have been rando room.
Okay. Oh, rando room. Okay. Oh, okay.
I mean, tile is also, and there's the.
Okay.
Is the chest.
Yeah, that sounds great. All right, that is right above Isarmos, which is, you know, really great. We don't have to spend any more time basically killing things. Oh no! Oh no! I don't think I can express how much sadness I would have felt if that anti-fairy had bullied Soyhr, you know, to the point where the bomb had exploded and then he couldn't get that chest. Like, that would be so heartbreaking. Yeah, Soyhr really had to fight Bob for it too. I feel like, you know, Bob did not have to be so mean today.
It's his chest. Coming into his house and trying to steal his treasure.
What if we bribed him a bit? I mean, you know, Soyhr actually, you know, being very altruistic, he didn't even powder the guy, you know?
Yeah.
He let him live.
Sometimes you gotta do things for the fans.
Yeah. Okay, so we're starting GBZ on Sean's side. Okay, yeah, very reasonable, by the way, to just take the iframes and dash straight through. Okay, so we're starting the gauntlet at 14 seconds on his side. Soyhr is basically this room and the stair climb away. Oh my gosh. So it looks like about 13-14 seconds difference right now between Soyhr and Sean. Sean using a, what was it, Ether Medallion or something up top in the first room? Yeah, so gonna be definitely, again, a little bit of time here spent versus Soyhr. Looks like he is a little bit lower on magic, but he's definitely using that fire rod. You know what? Never mind. Forget it. He said anything. He just got a big drop.
I was gonna say something earlier too, that he was using magic extremely liberally, but then I saw the magic drop from the Zazax. So some good game knowledge there by Soyhr.
I think that's really great, you know, to be able to basically keep track of your prize packs. And basically, you don't know, right? Because if you know or you think you have basically infinite, you know, free resources, like you're getting a magic drop, you're getting a fairy, you can definitely be much more aggressive, right? In terms of, you know, basically your resource usage. Holy cow, are we tied? Okay, that was an extremely a gauntlet basically for Soyhr to kind of claw back some time. We are within 1 second. Is that what it looks like?
We are almost room for room here.
Oh my gosh.
Man, this is the closest race I've seen in a very long time.
Oh my gosh, dude. 1 second between. And yeah, I think Chad is also pointing out the fact that so half magic was in the first chest of Swamp Palace, was the map chest. And Soyhr, you know, very early on when we had Mid Dark World access, no hammer after Hype Cave, he went into Swamp Palace, got everything out of there, and that's where half magic was. And right now, we saw basically Soyhr really get like maximum utility out of it. Oh my gosh. Oh, Soyhr on. I cannot describe this. Soyhr has, as you said, pulled ahead in this case. Oh my gosh. Okay, we are synced. Holy. Now, okay, this race is an exemplary example. Whenever you think execution doesn't matter, this is when it matters. Holy cow.
Yeah, I know. Ganon's Tower has been a big working point for Soyhr. And I believe it was like something that we just saw here, but on the other side, like he raced someone and he's ahead, and then saw them overtake him in GT, and he said, "Nope, never again." So yeah,
Oh,
he's been working really hard at it.
That's awesome to hear. You know, like, and again, I think that's kind of reflective of, at least from what I've seen for Soyhr, you know, just taking the constructive and positive side of things, right? You know, especially if you can be a sore loser and say like, oh, well, that, you know, like that whatever. You can have, you know, a lot of negative, you know, comments about it, or you can try and do it and say, as you said, never again, right? Just make yourself better, get better at the game. Here we
Nice
on
triple
Aga.
there.
Yeah, looks like triple on both
don't
sides.
blue ball. No blue balls. No.
Oh no. Oh, all right. Not
Okay.
So. Sean also only got one energy ball. These are seeded for what it's worth. You know, they get the same patterns. Oh my gosh, dude. But I think you're right. Yeah, just through some of the execution, you know, that Soyhr has, he has clawed back enough, you know, a single second's worth of time where Soyhr is going to be the first one, you know, to land on GT and start Ganon.
So there's some questions in chat about ties. So in this tournament, and the tourney admin Josh Bittner is in chat. So feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe within 3 seconds is an admin time, and it will only be declared a tie if it's to the frame.
We are, by the way, within.
There will probably be a winner.
Yes, we are I think 1.5 seconds difference when they were dropping down, maybe 2. But yes, this is when, you know, they have gold sword, so phases 1 and 2 should be fine. I don't expect either of them to be, you know, missing the 1-1. Phase 3 is you know, to go through the motions. Do not let, you know, don't like phase 4 for silvers, even though you might think it may not matter, it will matter here. Oh my gosh. Get it, stop moving, please. All right.
Okay, retimes are 2 seconds, but ties are to the frame. Confirmed by Josh.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Oh, that's 3 arrows there.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Sean! Oh my gosh. RP.
Oh, that hit. Get your GGs in chat for both runners, as they're gonna both cross the bridge at almost the same time, but Sean is gonna be just that slightest bit ahead.
Oh yeah, phase 4 Ganon had made the difference for silvers, but holy cow! Wait, is this 2 seconds difference?
That is about a second and a half of difference.
Oh my gosh! All right, well, yeah, huge GGs to both SeanRhapsody, the runner, and Soyhr. What a close race, dude! The best part is that the admins get to work.
Yeah, and Soyhr took a hit from a fire bat, which I think made up a lot of the difference. Like, let Sean catch up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was huge, like kind of like back and forth. Well, yeah, it was. I mean, it was definitely a tug, you know, a tug of war between Sean and Soyhr, especially at the end. They were single-digit time difference going into GT. Soyhr clawed enough time in the gauntlet back to actually, you know, fight Ganon first, and then, you know, here we are, right? Phase 4 actually making a difference for these two guys. All right, maybe, you know, we can get these guys in here, you know, give us a chat. See how...
in the meantime, give these guys a follow, because this was really, really fun to watch, and I expect more of the same from both runners going forward. And we're joined by Soyhr here, GG.
Yo, Soyhr, GG's.
Yo, GG's.
How's it going there? How are you feeling? Yeah, how were you feeling? Oh, we were also here joined by Sean, GG's. The other Sean, runner SeanRhapsody.
GG, Sean.
So, yeah, that was high octane all through GT there. You guys entered, I think, Soyhr, you got dead rock, so you entered like maybe 8 or 9 seconds apart, and then Soyhr, you made up a lot of time in GT, dropped into Ganon very, very slightly before Sean did, and then the bat got you.
Yeah, the arrows, fucking arrows. I'm part of my language, but wow. I think we both kind of summed this up correctly in our chat afterwards, but just I may have swore, but we both started holy something else. Like, wow.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, pretty much. I feel okay with how this happened. If it gets retimed, great, but I don't expect to pull out that portion of it. But GG, Sean, that was awesome. I've never had one this close before.
I have, pretty sure. But yeah, that's gonna be fun to watch back.
I was happy to actually specky clip and not pay out at all, but was like whatever, and then didn't have to go back in there, so that was kind of nice.
Oh, I was in go mode by then, so
my go mode. Oh, go ahead.
I wanted to try to find my logic first, so I ended up finding my flute before I went up the mountain. So
yeah,
so when I got hammer ice rod up there, I was in go mode. So I go moded like a ton of dungeons.
Gotcha. My go mode was flute.
Yeah, which makes sense. Very, very easy to go up the mountain early in this one if you really wanted to.
Very much, yeah. Very easy. And then I did once I got mitts, I went straight to Thieves Town and did that loop.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, yeah, this was a seed where there was a lot of options, and it seems like either one was right.
So Sean, I have to ask, the big divergence point here was Soyhr going into swamp because of the allowed specky clip, and you followed the book into desert. Can you maybe expand on your thought process there?
I honestly, I just forgot all about specky clip in that particular moment. Just didn't even cross my mind. I'm so not used to it being a common thing that it never even crossed my mind to go in there early.
And then Soyhr, same question. What pushed you to do swamp?
Specky clip.
Awesome.
Okay.
I was like, I've had
I wouldn't expect any other answer.
I had 6 races where it was like, whatever, we have the hammer, but I was like, let's just knock it out. I'm obviously regretting the left side swamp play afterwards, but with so much going and stuff, it was whatever. But the fact that I was there, and I was hoping to get something to go over to Ice Palace, but nothing up until swamp gave me anything. Even swamp didn't give me anything, so I was just trying to do a big loop, and I was there. Really, is what it was.
No, I mean, I think it's very reasonable, right? Especially when, I guess part of the reason why maybe people before Specky Clip, right, didn't want to do Swamp, especially even check the first chest, is because there's a lot of time commitment, right? Because you only check the first chest. But yeah, but now, like, even if you don't have the hammer, Swamp is full clearable and it's a crystal, so like, why not, right? I mean, you were also missing, and but by the way, if you were wondering, SeanRhapsody runner, so Soyhr found half magic in the map chest at the first item chest of Swamp, and by the way, he used the heck out of it throughout the rest of the game, especially in Gauntlet. Actually, I think it kind of helped him actually claw back some time.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah. So I mean, so it definitely, I think certainly did help. And I think Soyhr was also, you were on Master Sword a good amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my tempered right before I got flute and Saha's hut.
Yeah, that was the other nice thing about making that play early, is I had that sword the whole time.
Without the flute and with the 2 empty bottles that I had, it made Trinex a little difficult with my hammer.
Sure.
But luckily I was able to just, as Clearmouth said, just fire rod out of that ice rod or ice head. I don't know. I'm sure that I'm probably going to be like, man, this sucks. But there's a reason why we had to have a rubber match. We had 2 really good matches at the beginning. And this is pretty much Group M, represent.
This was an incredible race, honestly. Like, at least for me, I didn't realize just how close it was until you both. So your last dungeon, Soyhr, was Mire,
Yep.
and then I think Sean, you
Mine was
finished with
ice.
Ice, yeah. So like you caught the crystal, like the crystal disappeared, whatever, as part of the cutscene, as Soyhr picked up his crystal. Right,
Wow.
like that's how close it was, and then you guys were going up to GT. And I was like, oh wow. So and then the entire, and you guys took both the same GT route, and so just everything was just super close, like the entire time.
That's gonna be fun to watch back.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to. I'm probably gonna leave the last Ganon fight out of it and not watch that, but definitely gonna watch this one back. I've watched all of ours back so far, and they've been really good.
Yeah, this one certainly was very exciting. Oh, I did have a question for you, Sean. And then maybe this also, I'm just wondering, like, what was like your strategy? So like you did go to Pod pretty early, right? And you ended up finding your flute there with Tempered, and then you decided to go to Eastern. Any particular, like, you just want to do Eastern while you were there?
Pretty much. I was already over there. It's green pendant. It's like, might as well. And it's gonna be fast with silvers already, so.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
If it wasn't green pendant, I probably don't. But since it's green and it's an extra check that's literally right there, I mean, why not?
Yeah, I think it's reasonable. And then I think like kind of like the big time differences was I think you keep going into Eastern, and then Soyhr basically full cleared swamp, right? Because you did that early. And then you've got some other like overworld routing, maybe some execution, like but it's like that was kind of like the major differences in terms of that's what somebody didn't do.
Yeah, I'm looking at the CRs right now, and I'm very happy with what I've done and what I did in this seed. So I'm not gonna. There's no regretty spaghetti on any of this. So whatever happens, happens. So I'm. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's really all you can ask for in a
else.
Tiebreaker race. Have it
exactly
come down to the wire.
Yeah, and I guess now I got to go brush off the retime rules, or just be like, admins tell us what's going on, and whatever happens, happens. But I'm not too worried about it. This is the most casual I've been about a race this entire tournament. So
yeah, pretty much.
Whatever happens, we're going into brackets pretty strong. So
yeah. We were both already in anyway, so.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's one reason why it was so less stressful.
Yeah, I'm really glad. Yeah, and like and brackets, not gonna lie, looks a little intimidating for some of the runners.
Oh, for sure.
But you guys are part of that intimidating group, right? It's like everyone here in brackets is gonna have an equal chance of advancing, right? So certainly, I guess we'll see. Yeah, as you said, we'll see what the admins say about this particular race. And then I guess we'll just go from there. But at least you guys will enjoy a a happy bracket future, along with Sean, the other Sean commentator, as well. So maybe we'll have a Sean versus Sean in brackets.
We've been waiting for it.
That will be great.
We've been kicking it around a little bit.
There can only be one.
Hasn't happened yet.
And then I'm not sure where Koi's at, but a Soy versus Koi bracket match would also be delectable too. But no, thanks for putting this on. This was a lot of fun.
No, thank you guys so much for racing. This was yeah. I mean, like I had a blast. This was a really great race. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks Clearmouse for joining me in the booth. It was fun calming with you. GG again to runners. Definitely give these runners a follow. Thank you Niobium Narwhal for tracking, and you're muted. So, but.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, like, Narwhal did so much. Like, I mean, especially in the early game, we had, I don't know, like 20 different things come out of Kakariko and South Shore and everything, and she was very much on top of every single one. So, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, so best of luck if you have to play another game. I'm not sure, but if you do, have fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, seriously, good luck, Sean, in the brackets.
Yep. Same to you.
Thank you.
All right. Any other thoughts then? Before we kind of close things out for the evening.
No, I'm good.
Cool.
Once again, thanks for everyone for putting it on and taking care of the comms and tracking and all that. And guess we'll see everybody next time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, get a good night's rest, and then wake up hopefully for some good news.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah, and I want to thank Narwhal again for so much for doing such an awesome job on tracking. Thank you, Smilesfire, for doing all of the setup helper stuff. Restream went on super smoothly, so really appreciative of that. And Sean, secretly a slower commentator. Thank you so much. It was a blast to being able to commentate with you. It was a lot of fun. And of course, best of luck for your own set of brackets races moving forward.
Yeah, thank you very much. Everybody have a great night.
Thank you. You all have a good night.
Yeah, keep your eyes on the schedule, by the way. I'm not sure if there's going to be any restream races, at least on the docket, but I don't think channels have been assigned yet. But there's still lots of different rando events going on tomorrow, so just keep your eye on the schedule. Until then, have a great rest of the night.